Hello everyone, this is Professor Pawan Kulkarni from EEE department. BLD is with Dr. PG HCAT Vijaypur. Okay, I am here to discuss on the subject that is power electronics. Okay, now as far as this particular video lecture is concerned, so first we will have a discussion on why the name power electronics, then what is the objective of power electronics, then we will switch towards definition of power electronics. Then finally we will conclude this video lecture by discussing some basic parts that are associated with this subject, that is power electronics. Alright. So first let us see why the name power electronics. Just concentrate on these two words, power and electronics. Okay. You people are already familiar with the word called as power, and you are also familiar with the word called as electronics. So these two words are simply combined and you have a subject over here. Okay, so first you concentrate on the word power here. Right now you just forget about electronics. Purely concentrate on this word power. What is power here? So power is nothing but it is the product of voltage and current. Okay, or in other words you can say that power is the product of voltage and current here. In terms of electrical parameters, you can write power is equal to product of voltage and current. Okay, so the main objective lies here only. Okay, so the word power is being taken from this formula here. Now the main objective of the subject is to have a control over this word, that is power here. Okay, so if you want to have a control over this power here, then these two parameters has to be controlled. Okay, so the voltage parameter has to be controlled and even current parameter has to be controlled. If these two parameters are controlled here, voltage and current, then by default power parameter, power flow in a particular circuit can easily be controlled. Okay, so therefore the main objective of this subject is to have a control over this power. So in order to have a control over the power, then these two voltage and current parameter has to be controlled. Okay, so this is about this word power. This is all. Now concentrate on this word here, electronics. Okay, so the power is being followed by electronics. Okay, why power is being combined with the electronics here? What would be the reason behind that? Okay, so the reason is being that, so if you want to have a control over this power, then there must be some system or a circuit. Okay, there must be a system or any circuit which will have a control over this power. That itself is your electronic circuit. Okay, so if you want to have a control over power, okay, you need a circuit, you need a device which will control this power. That itself is a electronic circuit here. Okay, so you can concentrate here. So power can be controlled by using electronic circuits. In other words, you can say that power can be controlled by using power electronic circuits. Okay, and the most common sentence what we use throughout the subject is that the power can be controlled by using power semiconductor devices. Okay, power can be controlled by using power semiconductor devices. Okay, you already know what is a semiconductor. Okay, so it is neither a conductor nor an insulator. Its property always lies between conductor and insulator. Okay, so we are using semiconductor device. The most widely used semiconductor device in this subject, that itself will be your silicon. Silicon will be most widely used semiconductor device. We will have a discussion on what is power semiconductor device in upcoming classes. Okay, so now the main objective of this whole subject is to have a control over power using power semiconductor devices or power electronic circuits. Okay, so this is the main theme, the main objective of this subject, that is power electronics here. Okay, now let us see the definition. Okay, so that itself is a definition. Let us put it in a proper order here. Okay, so the power electronics can be defined as, okay, so in order to control, or you can say in order to get desired output, in order to get a desired output and to improve the system performance. In order to get, I just repeat here, in order to get a desired value of output as per your wish and to improve the system performance, the power, this power, either it has to be controlled or converted. Okay, so you just introduce one more here between power and electronics. You know that controlling parameter is very important word. This word is missing here. Okay, you want to control the power and look at the definition here. So if you want to get a desired value of output and if you want to improve the system performance, this power value, either it has to be controlled or it has to be converted from one form of energy to another form. This is called as a power electronics. Okay, now I put a question mark here. Okay, how this control and conversion of power can be achieved here? So that can be achieved by using these power semiconductor devices. Okay, this is the complete definition of a power electronics. Okay, so now you got the point. What is the objective of power electronics, right? And what is the definition of a power electronics? Now let us see some basic parts that are associated with this subject here. Okay, all like this. So the first, let us deal with the important basic component of this power electronics, that itself is a switch. That itself is a switch. Okay. Now the reason why I have considered switch in the first concept of the basic part. Okay. So the reason is being that if you know the behavior of the switch or the operation of this switch here completely, then that is the explanation for all the concepts included within this whole subject. Okay, therefore you must know the operation of a switch here. Okay, now basically there are three types of switches. One is uncontrolled switch, second one semi-controlled switch, and the last one is fully controlled switch. These are the three combinations that are available. Okay, these are the only three types that are available. So one is uncontrolled, semi-controlled, and a fully controlled switch. Okay, now the first question here is that, okay, what is a switch? Okay, so here in all these three types, switch is nothing but it is a semiconductor device. It is a semiconductor device. Okay, so it might be either silicon or germanium. Okay, the most widely used semiconductor device itself is a silicon. Okay, so whenever I am going to use the word called a switch, you just assume that I am talking about the semiconductor device. Okay, this semiconductor device finally acts as a switch. Hence, we are using the word switch. Okay, now see, concentrate on the first one, that is uncontrolled switch. First, let us deal with first type here. Okay, now concentrate on this word switch. Switching means what? Changing. Okay, changing between what? Between two states. Then what are those two states? One is on state and one more is off state. Okay, so switch position either it will be turned on or it will be turned off. Okay, now concentrate on this word uncontrolled. So this means what? You will have no control over the operation of this switch. Okay, so the turning on and turning off of the switch cannot be achieved here. It cannot be controlled. Okay, so the best example what you can give here, that itself is a diode. Right, so this is the symbol of diode. So you have anode terminal, cathode terminal. Okay, so this diode, okay, it is a semiconductor device which acts as a switch. Okay, now how it acts as an uncontrolled switch, that is the question here. Okay, so the operation of this diode here or the switch, it depends upon what is the amount of voltage applied across it and what is the amount of current that is flowing through it. Depending on the voltage and current that is flowing through this circuit, so whether this diode or switch will be turned on or it will be turned off. Okay, now let us justify how this diode it acts as an uncontrolled switch. Okay, now see here, you know the operation of this diode here. So if you apply anode to cathode voltage, let us say you are connecting a battery here, anode is more positive with respect to cathode, hence this diode, so whether it will turn on or not, so it remains in off state until you increase this voltage up to 0.7 volt if it is made up of a silicon. So you know the breakdown voltage of silicon is 0.7 volt, then it will be turned on. Okay, if you want to turn it off, then so this cathode, this position has to be reversed. Cathode must be more positive with respect to anode, then this diode will be turned off. Okay, this is the nominal behavior of this diode here. Now how can you say that it is an uncontrolled switch? This means what? you don't have any external signal or a control signal, so that can be applied to this diode, so that whenever you want to turn it on or turn it off, that can be achieved here. Okay, now see here, you don't have any external signal here, you don't have a control signal, so that you can control the operation of this switch, this diode. So this means what? So the operation of this diode depends upon what is the amount of voltage you are applying here, what is the amount of current flowing through it. But you don't have any control signal, so that you can turn on and turn off this diode as per your wish here. So therefore this diode can be the best example for this uncontrolled switch. Okay. Now let us see the second one. So that is semi-controlled switch. Okay. So as far as semi-controlled switch is concerned, it is also called as a half-controlled switch. Okay. The reason why it is called a semi-controlled switch is just because, so here in this type of switch, you can turn on any device, but you cannot turn it off. Okay, so the word semi-controlled or half-controlled itself suggests that either you can turn on the device or turn off the device, but both cannot be achieved. Okay, so the name half-controlled switch. Okay, the only example what you can do as far as semi-controlled switch, that itself is a thyristor. That itself is a thyristor. Okay, so the symbol just looks like your diode here, except the bit that you are applying the gate signal here. This is a control signal or external signal what you are applying on your own. Okay, so as far as this thyristor is concerned, you have to justify how it acts as a semi-controlled switch, right? So here, once you apply anode to cathode voltage, increase the voltage up to 0.7 ohm, then this thyristor remains in off state only. Though it is forward bias, it will not be turned on. The reason is being that until and unless you apply the gate signal, this thyristor remains in off state only. Okay. Now you apply this gate signal here. You are going to apply the gate voltage. You can connect the battery here. Apply the gate voltage. Then this thyristor will be turned on. Okay. Now turn on of the device is possible. But what about the turn off here? So even if you make this gate voltage as zeros, then also this thyristor remains in on state only. It is not possible to turn off this device here by using the same external signal, by using the same control signal. Therefore, it is called as a semi-controlled switch. Okay. So this is the point here. It's all about the external signal or control signal what you are applying. Okay. Now let us see the third one. That is a fully controlled switch. Okay. So as far as fully controlled switch is concerned, the name itself suggests that, so these switches can be turned on and turned off simultaneously. Okay, you can turn it on or turn it off as per your wish. Okay, the best example what you can do, you can take it as a MOSFET or IGBT, GTO or IGCT. These are some examples. Okay, so it is metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, insulated gate bipolar transistor, then your gate turn off thyristor, then you have insulated integrated gate commutated thyristor. These are the fully controlled switches. Let us take an example of MOSFET here. You know the symbol of MOSFET, right? So here, so you know that it consists of 4 terminals, not 3 terminals. So it has gate, drain, source, and this is your substrate, or you can say this is a body. Alright. So as far as this MOSFET is concerned, you are justifying it as a fully controlled switch. Reason is being that, so even if you apply drain to source voltage here, then this MOSFET remains in off state. Once you apply the gate signal, then it will be turned on. Then make this gate voltage as 0, then it will be turned off. Hence, turning on and turning off can be achieved by applying this external signal or a control signal. Hence, you can say that it is a fully controlled switch. The same thing holds good for IGBT also. So, which consists of gate, collector, and emitter.